Hey guys, Logan here, and welcome back to my Mission Impossible series. I'm going to be covering every Mission Impossible film leading up to Mission Impossible Fallout coming out on July 27th. I already reviewed the first Mission Impossible film, and now I'm going to be reviewing Mission Impossible 2. The Mission Impossible movie that kind of went downhill for most people. Yeah. That's kind of the start of the downfall of this series. Tom Cruise returns to his role as Ethan Hunt in the second installment of the Mission Impossible franchise, and it's about Ethan Hunt leading his IMF team on a mission to capture a deadly German virus before it is released by terrorists. Like I said, this is the sequel to the first Mission Impossible film, and it turned out to be more of a action thriller that you normally see on a regular basis, kind of like a James Bond movie. This one is a lot more different than the first one, and even Tom Cruise came out and said that he wanted a new director to direct every Mission Impossible film. And when you have an actor or an actress coming out and said that we're going to have a new director to direct a film that is very much different from its predecessor, and we're going to make it just as good, if not better, than its predecessor, you normally see that as a good idea. But sometimes it just doesn't work very well when you have a movie in the same franchise as the first film, and Mission Impossible 2 is no exception. This film is directed by John Woo, who take the role after the one who directed the first Mission Impossible film. And this film was a mixed bag for me. I don't think this movie was quite as terrible as most people are saying it is. I mean, yes, it is the weakest installment of the Mission Impossible series of a movie series, but I still think it wasn't as bad as most people are saying it is. And that is due to the different tone that this movie had from the first Mission Impossible film. Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt was obviously very good in this movie. He still was the same Ethan, even though in this film he seemed more like a James Bond character than he does Ethan Hunt from the first Mission Impossible. So that was kind of disappointing. I think it's not really Tom Cruise's fault. I think it had something to do with the writing and the screenplay that took place in this movie. Just having a very different direction in this movie. And at times it works in this movie, and other times it doesn't work. So Ethan Hunt, played by Tom Cruise, was very good, even though he kind of comes off as more of like a James Bond character instead of like a Mission Impossible Ethan Hunt type of character. So again, I thought that was disappointing. Ving Rhames, I still consider him to be one of, if not the best part in this entire Mission Impossible series. But even the humor that he brought out in the first Mission Impossible film was really cut out in this entire film. This film really took itself too seriously multiple times with the way that it was trying to tell its story and the way that it was going, and so many things that happened that kind of took itself too seriously and didn't provide enough, humor to add the levity to it. That's one of the biggest disappointments of this entire film. This film has barely, if not any humor at all in this entire film. And another thing that I thought really bogged down the movie even more is the main villain. There was not much to him that is very interesting about him. The motivations you can say are pretty understandable, but besides that, the main villain was pretty forgettable. Naya, played by Thandie Newton, I think that's how you say her first name. She was pretty good in this entire film. She does provide really cool action sequences, which, by the way, most of the action, just most of them, I would say about 75% of the action in this film was done very well. There are some action scenes, while fun, some of them really come off as either very weird or really dumb and stupid. For example, there was this one scene where Tom Cruise was hanging on a cliff, or was climbing on a cliff actually, and while that scene was kind of interesting, I felt like it was sort of a scene that was mostly made for the audience back in 2008. I feel like it was just for the audience, and I thought that was just out of place. Like, that scene had no purpose. I feel like it was trying to set up to what this movie was going to be, and it just didn't do so well at that. It's just the setup for the whole entirety of this film wasn't as groundbreaking as the first as the setup in the first Mission Impossible was. I feel like this movie really has no idea what it wanted to be at certain points in its entirety. The first Mission Impossible, it was nothing but an action spy espionage thriller that has Tom Cruise playing Ethan Hunt, a government agent slash spy that does like all IMF stuff. In this film, it has Tom Cruise playing a James Bond type of character that kind of takes you out of the film for a bit whenever he does like some things that are very much like James Bond. Oh, and I forgot to mention the character of Billy. Zero development for his character whatsoever. Zero. All he does in this entire film is flying a helicopter for Ving Rhames and Tom Cruise to do some IMF stuff. That's all his character is in this entire film. He's just a helicopter pilot for the IMF team. That's all he is. Nothing else. He has zero development to his character whatsoever. So yeah, guys, overall, this movie was not very good. It's not very terrible either. I think most people went overboard with hating this movie. Like I said, it's a mixed bag for myself. I really don't view it as the abomination that most people do. It's just a mixed bag to watch. You can really watch this movie not thinking much about it. Just lay down on your couch and just do nothing at your house when it's like raining outside. That is like the perfect time to watch this film. I'm going to give Mission Impossible 2 a Silver Medal of Honor. And the score by Hans Zimmer, I forgot to mention that. Very good, especially one part where Tom Cruise was like tricking the main villain, Sean Ambrose, into killing one of his henchmen. That was very good. I forgot to mention that scene. It was very awesome. Anyway, guys, that is my review for Mission Impossible 2. My next review in my Mission Impossible series is going to be for Mission Impossible 3, and it will be up next week from today, so be on the lookout for that. If you guys enjoyed my review, please click the like button and comment down below to let me know if you have already watched this movie and let me know what you think of it. If you enjoy what you've seen here and you want to see future videos from me, please press up there to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great week, Balance Squad, and as always, fight the good fight.